How you doing? It's Mark. We're going to do another review. Today we have another one that I'm very curious about. This is the Glendronach 8, the Hielan. And I've done several Glendronachs before. I've even done a Glendronach 8 before. So we'll see how this one hangs up to the Octarine, which is fantastic for an 8-year-old. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pour this first, so give it a minute to sit, and we'll see what this does. So, all right. Okay, so we're going to spin it. All right, so we'll give you a look here. See, Glendronach they don't use chill filtering, or they don't add color, so it's kind of a good. Let me give you a little bit better. Let me let that sit for a second. There we go. Okay, so all right, I've talked about Glendronach before, and Glendronach means Valley of the Brambles. It's a Highland single malt. They were founded in 1826. They did not release single malts till 1968. They were closed from 1996 till 2002, which is odd considering how good a product they have. But you know, some of the other distilleries that stayed open were produced an inferior product, but they were one of the last coal-firing distilleries, and they switched over to gas. They were purchased by the Glendronach Group in 2008, which they own Glendronach, Glenglassaugh, and later they were purchased by Brown-Forman. And so anyway, James Alderdice marketed the Scotch in the red light district of Aberdeen. They may have been the first to really do cask finishes with something, you know, where they did like bourbons and ports and different kinds of cask finishes. But anyway, he introduced his product to ladies of the night, who introduced it to their customers, and that's kind of how he kind of got the word out on his product. Rachel Berry is the master taster of all Glendronach, Glendronach, and Glenglassaugh. They have a Glendronach, which is, again, Glendronach is just one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite distillery. They have 4 stills, 2 wash, 2 spirit. They produce about 350,000 gallons of Scotch per year. This is the pronounced Hielan. I'll go over here. Pronounced Hielan. This is an 8-year-old, and it's matured and married in a combination of the finest bourbon and sherry casks. Very similar to the Octarine, which is also 8 years, which is also the finest bourbon and sherry cask. So I'm going to be very curious to see how different this tastes than the Octarine, which I love. For an 8-year-old, it is like, they need to put that as part of their core line. It's an absolutely phenomenal Scotch. I wouldn't even know it was an 8-year-old. It's fantastic. I couldn't say enough great things about it. Hielan is slang for Highland, so and this was released in 2015, and it's 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no color added. So, okay, so anyway, there's your color on the bottle. There's your color on the glass. Not bad for an 8-year-old. It looks pretty good. Let's see what the tin says. I guess this was a tin, tube, whatever we call this. Okay, founded in 1826 by James Alder Rice, the Glendronach was one of the very first licensed distilleries. Alder Rice was a colorful character, and stories abound as to how he promoted his whiskey with entrepreneurial flair. He was also a pioneer of wood finishes and would have celebrated today's superb Glendronach. Matured in a combination of the finest bourbon and sherry casks, the Glendronach is a perfectly balanced, smooth, creamy, full-bodied, single malt Scotch whiskey. Okay, so this one says, tasting notes, appearance, it's ambered with a burnished copper glow. Yeah, okay, whatever. Colored in, as long as you're not coloring it, I don't give a crap what it looks like. Rounded waves of orange blossom, a citrus twist of buttery golden sultanas, sun-dried raisins, and ripe yellow plums, all dusted with a touch of vanilla, is what the nose, it says what the nose is. So on the palate, it's supposed to be crisp, vibrant oak, spices, warm, soaked sultanas, apricot jam, and gingerbread, all rounded by delicate hints of butterscotch, cocoa, and toasted almonds. Finish, classic sherry overtones with a contrasting crisp dimension demonstrated by the complexity of the traditional Highland character. Okay, Highland character, much like what I've said multiple times, that the difference within a region is far more than the difference between regions. So Highland, Speyside, you can make it do whatever you want. You can make it taste like whatever you want. So I don't really buy in much to the region flavoring as much as other people. So, all right, let's see what we got. Fruit forward, absolutely. Oranges, plums, raisins and prunes. Something else in there. Let's see. What is that? Figs. Yeah, very, very nice. Definitely the oranges and the raisins and the plums come through. Sherry a little bit. Prunes. Figs. This is very fruit forward. I'm going to have to do a side-by-side between this and the Octarine, see what comes out, because they both use the same cask and they're both 8 years. Be very interesting to see how those pan out. I've been told that they were very different, but nonetheless, I think maybe I need to do it. A side-by-side would be pretty cool. Okay. Very citrus, very fruit forward, peppery, kind of surprised at that. Oranges, lemon. There's some chocolate on the back. Actually, the chocolate really starts to come through at the end and makes it very, very nice finish. Very, very mild finish. It's kind of like hits you and then it like really gets subtle with the finish. Very chocolatey on the finish. Very, very good. Yeah, this isn't, from what I remember, this is nothing like the Octarine, however you say that. Yeah, the chocolate really comes through at the end, but peppery at the beginning. All right, second nosing here. Pears still there. Pears, oranges, fruit. Definitely fruit at the front. It comes through. Some fig, definitely still there. Yeah, this is very different from the other 8. So there will be a side by side in the future. Okay. Yeah, that's a little different on coming back. The chocolate really is there. Much sweeter. The finish is medium, and really the cocoa really comes through this time. Kind of finishes sweet. Yeah, finishes sweet. Definitely good on that. Maybe I had too big a swill the first time there, but yeah, really kind of the citrus is there. The chocolate starts to really, it's like the citrus comes down and the chocolate shoots up. So, okay, yeah, very good. Okay, I'm gonna give that I'll give it a 7. But yeah, going forward, I'm definitely going to do a side-by-side with the Octarine, because I do think they taste very different. And like I said, the Octarine's phenomenal for an 8-year-old. All right, we'll see you next time.